Llama después de la una. Mami, es que como tú no hay ninguna.
I wasn't strong enough to save you, Mom, but I promise I won't fail again.
I'm sorry, Anakin.
There he is. Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never. There he is. Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never.
Yo guys, welcome to my series called Rating Followers Physiques. If you want to be added, drop me a follow, fill out the Google Docs form in my bio. Yo guys, welcome to my series called Rating Followers Physiques. If you want to be added, drop me a follow, fill out the Google Docs form in my bio. So here we have Zayn. His stats are 6'1", 75 kg. And his lifts are 200 kg deadlift, so 160 squat and 110 kg, which obviously is extremely good for his, weight class at only 75 kgs. Moving on to, the physique pictures. Well-rounded physique, I would say. Being only 75 kg, it shows that he has good body composition. So there isn't a muscle that I would say he's particularly weak on, but there isn't a muscle that kind of overshadows his physique. So he has a pretty good package right there. Because of improvement, I would pretty much just say staying that lean for a long period of time can have a detriment to, your gains in the future. Because you need, obviously the calories to convert into energy, and then the energy to power your workouts and build the muscle that you need. But overall, man, very lean physique, very athletic looking. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Let's go. Yo guys, welcome to my series called Rating Followers Physiques. If you want to be added, drop me a follow, fill out the Google Docs form in my bio. Yo guys, so here we have AYM4 News, and let's look at the stats right now. So, he's only, 17 years old, which is, obviously crazy. Look at him. With a 120 kg bench press, 200 kg deadlift, 50 pull-ups, 25 muscle-ups, 100 push. This is ridiculous, you know what I mean? This is calisthenics, so it doesn't even, focus on strength in particular, and, that's extremely impressive already. Well-rounded. You got an extremely well-developed chest, obliques. He's also very lean physique, very proportional, I would say. Even in his front double bicep pose, you can see the V taper. It's very impressive. Only 17 years old and 70 kg. That is a ridiculous, a ridiculous physique. However, I would probably say in terms of improvements, I would just maybe it would be a good idea for him to go in a bit, a little bit of a surplus. Doesn't have to be a crazy bulk. To try to put some exercise because, then again, I wouldn't say he has a particular weakness. Or obviously I can't see his legs. That might be the weakness. His waist protrudes a little bit. But then again, he has, very capped delts, which kind of gives the illusion of that V-taper, which is very, very nice. Overall, extremely good physique. I have to rate this like an 8.7 out of 10. Honestly.
My vengeance ends now.
You're the ghost of Sparta. Everyone knows who you are.
Yo guys, come with me to train for a motherfucking push day. Let's get it. Yeah, so first we start off with a basic Smith machine warm-up. Get the joints up and running and to prevent injuries, because injuries are obviously shit. And then we go into our working set, Smith machine bench press. See, I'm focusing on the eccentric and driving on the concentric. focus on the controlled and slow movements. And then I transition on to incline press. It's pretty much the same movement. It's just make sure you get full range of motion. That's pretty much just basic shit. Keep it simple. And then we move on to Smith machine shoulder press. This exercise is probably not the greatest priority because you're already working, the front delts on the incline press. And here we move on to lateral raises. I'm injured on my wrist, so I can't go heavy, but then again, prioritize the slow movements until failure, because we always train till fucking failure. And here we have cable skull crushers. It's important that you don't flare your elbows too much, and make sure you don't ego lift because these can really fuck up your elbow joints. And here's my fucking face of despair. So you already know they have to train till failure to get the fucking results you need. And then we just finish off with, basic single arm cable extensions, hitting all the heads of the tricep. And yeah, see you guys next time. Let's get it.
Go home, Hank. You can still save your life. I'm faster than you and I don't feel pain. You don't stand a chance against me. My mission is to neutralize you, and I always accomplish my mission.
You've changed. I don't know you anymore. And again, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Yo guys, come with me to train a motherfucking sexy back day. Let's get it. So first we start off with pull-ups. It's important to depress your scapula. Make sure that you're getting the full range of motion all the way down. Controlling, once again, the eccentric and driving on the concentric, which is the motion upwards. And try to avoid swinging or shrugging your shoulders. And if you can't do pull-ups, there are other alternatives like lat pull-downs, which basically follow the same motion. Then here we move on to a cable row. I think go relatively light for this exercise, so I can just focus on mind muscle connection and the squeeze. On the eccentric, I would drive your body forward and then pull back straight away with the concentric drive. And depending on where you pull the actual bar to, that can dictate what part of the back is being worked, so just pay close attention to that. And now we're going to move on to a cable high row on a lat pull down machine. It's similar to a lat pull down, but instead of pulling down to your chest, you would instead pull down to your face, similar to a face pull. Here we're mainly targeting the upper portion of the back, so more like the rear delts and the traps. There you have it, we're done. You don't need to make your back days super complicated, just make them simple and efficient. Yo guys, welcome to my series called Rating Followers Physiques. If you want to be added, drop me a follow, fill out the Google Docs form in my bio. Yo, so here we got Landon. His stats are 5'7", 180 pounds, 17 years old. He also benches 325 pounds and squats 450. Right off the bat, I've got to give Landon, 8.75 rating for strength. At only 180 pounds and 17 years old, hitting, especially that 450 squat is absolutely ridiculous. So now moving on to the physique, you can see that he has, extremely well-developed shoulders, his arms are nice, he has a full chest, small waist. So in terms of structure, I'm gonna give him a 9. Also here, this picture shows how nice his structure is. Obviously a small waist, he in the crucifix pose, very nice. So here I would say he's pretty well rounded. We obviously can't see his legs, so we cannot judge that. And in terms of leanness, I would say he's pretty lean. Obviously there could be an improvement with summer coming, and I would give his leanness probably an 8. And in terms of muscle size and quality, I would say he's pretty well developed, especially his arms and his shoulders. Definitely some strong points. In terms of improvements, I think they're very minimal, to be honest. He has a pretty well-rounded physique, which I like. Not really any imbalances, but obviously he could improve with maybe getting leaner, especially in the shot. The abs can be a little bit more visible. But then again, he has the size to make up for it. So overall, I'm going to be rating Landon an 8.5 out of 10. Let's get it.